Tower Mode. It is coming to Marvel Strike Force later today. We know very little information right now, so we are giving our final predictions before this mode is released in Marvel Strike Force. We also have a fresh Horizons event coming up for Scarlet Spider, but very little is known about this event. We're discussing this in this video, and who is the next raid season milestone character? All of that and the Web Wars, everything else in Marvel Strike Force is coming up on your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. This week, I am joined by my brother, GoofyRhexxi. It has been way too long, Goofy. I mean, it is almost 48 entire hours since I've had you on this channel, and I've missed you. I have missed you, my friend.
No, I missed you too, man. It's been too long.
How have you been? I don't know if you can see, but there's some moisture welling up in my eyes that may form into a tear.
There was more before we hit record. I mean, that's just.
I think I've cleaned up well. I've got my tissues and stuff because you're here. You're here.
I'm here now, guys.
Yes. Hi. How are you enjoying Marvel Strike Force? I haven't talked to you in the past 2 days. What has anything changed over the past 2 days?
Well, I finised the event, the sorcerer, whatever, What's magic event, whatever it's called. Yes. Yeah, I feel good about that. I got the last ornament. I got my OG Spider-Man.
You got the cool costume. All right. I'm not gonna ask you about that 6-star yet. I'm gonna ask you about that coming up. Before we ask a lot of these Marvel Strike Force questions and getting stuff in the game, I do have to do some housekeeping and ask you a few questions before we get into this stuff. So the first question here, I know that you've watched Die Hard with your family this year. Any reconsideration about Die Hard being a Christmas movie? I mean, you've seen Hans Gruber there with his Christmas hat on. How much more Christmas can you get than Hans in a Christmas hat?
No, I've not reconsidered. I have absolutely not reconsidered. Die Hard, I will say it again, ladies and gentlemen, I do not think it is a Christmas movie. A good movie to watch, but I do not think it's a Christmas movie.
It's an excellent movie to watch. Now, just because you don't think it's a Christmas movie, we're still friends, even though you're wrong in this one. But are you going to watch it again next? Are you going to watch it again next year? Make it a tradition in your family to evaluate its Christmasness.
I always listen. I've because of the community, because I love you guys. I've been trying to make sure that I watch Die Hard on Christmas. Usually, my movie of choice is Home Alone, but I have now incorporated Die Hard into.
All right.
Although, by the way, I will say this: I also don't think that Home Alone is a Christmas movie either. But we'll talk about that later on.
Oh my goodness! Oh, Goofy, this is getting blasphemous here. Before you make any more enemies, let's just stop this conversation here. Let's move on from Christmas to New Year's, because another question from the Valley Club, a very important question that they had for you, was. What are the New Year's resolutions that you're gonna make this year in 2022 and not keep?
Oh, and not keep. Damn. Okay, that's significantly harder. What I'm gonna not keep. Okay, well, this year I'm gonna try to go to bed on time. Now, what does on time mean? We don't know, but I guarantee you that one's probably not gonna stick up.
You can give yourself a lot of leeway with that definition.
You can at a reasonable time. Yeah, at a reasonable time. To try to get 8 hours of sleep. Yes, we're gonna try that. It's probably not gonna last.
Okay.
Number 2 is that I'm gonna try this year not to get upset about Red Star openings. I'm gonna try my hardest.
Good luck on that one. That is one of my resolutions as well.
Because if y'all saw my video earlier, I'm pissed about my Red Star pulls on Scarlet Spider. We'll talk about that later on.
We will talk about that. We will talk about that. We will talk about. I want to see who you got for your six Red Star character from the Magic event. All right. Yeah,
we'll talk about it. And then for the third, my third one, I'm gonna try this year to spend more gold.
What? Okay.
Some of you guys know already that I don't like to spend more than 1.5 million gold in a day. I'm gonna try one of these hits to spend more gold in a day.
All right. So those are what Goofy is wanting to do, but probably won't do. Here's my thing. I'm gonna do that Red Star thing as well, because I'm getting very upset. It's making my blood boil about these Red Star openings. So I'm not going to get mad at Scopely about Red Stars. I'm not going to get mad at Scopely in general. And I'm not going to trash the Heroes for Hire this year. So those are the resolutions I'm not keeping. Let's move on to some game stuff, because I know this is something in 2022 that you're not going to do, getting mad at your red stars for new characters. But 2021 sounds like it was a little tougher as far as that Scarlet Spider opening. So what are your thoughts on Scarlet Spider? And yes, what did you get as far as your red stars for Scarlet Spider?
Well, I'll talk about the red. Let's do the bad news first. The bad news is I got 2 red stars on Scarlet Spider after opening up, I think it was like 27 or 28 basics. I opened up 4 Elite 4s, 2 Elite 5s, or 1 Elite 5. So feeling pretty bad about that right there. But my thoughts on Scarlet Spider: good character, adds a lot to the team. I mean, like, extra crit damage. I think he's giving extra crit damage to the team. So I think he's a necessary character. But this team is not going to be complete, man, until you get Spider Punk, right? Because you want to get, he gives them an extra crit chance. He's also applying the trauma. He's giving them offense up whenever any one of the Web Warrior allies dodges. I mean, the team is not complete, but as a 3-person team right now, I know people are having some success with the OG Miles. It's not OG Miles, but Miles, OG Spider-Man.
Yeah, I was like, is there another Miles?
Yeah, I know I messed that with Gwen.
I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant. No worries.
So the question now is, what the hell are you gonna do if you want to build up Scarlet Spider? Who are you gonna be replacing him with? But I think it's gonna take a while, man, because the gear, you know how that is right now.
Oh my goodness, yeah, the gear is crazy for this team. The Oz, all that superior Oz, all the Brawler ISO 8. My goodness, everybody except for Ghost Spider needs that Brawler ISO 8 and that superior Oz. It's the new Alien Spores. It's the new, I don't know what the ISO 8 necessity was back in the day, but very tough team. Now, let's say theoretically, I know you have access to this test server. You're trying out this team, this 4-piece team, no Spider Punk. Who would you put in to this as that 5th? Would you go with Symbiote Spider-Man, or would you go with Anti-Venom?
I'll probably go with SSM because SSM can still, apply the slows. You can still extend negative effects too, right? And the multi-target hits, the rate. So I still like SSM. Because I still think that out of all the characters, all the symbiotes, he's the best plug-and-play character out of the entire team. So I definitely would still roll with Symbiote Spider-Man, and it's passive too, if I'm not mistaken.
This is why the max health, and then the drain. Right. Well, he's not. The Web Warriors aren't going to get the drain, but Symbiote Spider-Man, and they're going to get the max health there. So that's where I'm leaning. But if you guys are using Anti-Venom with some awesome success, let me know in the comments. But let's move on to this Fresh Horizons event. If we go to this in-game mail, when Symbiote Spider-Man, or I keep calling him the wrong name, when Scarlet Spider-Man arrived in the game, we had this message that he has this Fresh Horizons event coming. Where is he? I can't find him. He's somewhere here. Scarlet Spider swings in the battle. He's coming in a Fresh Horizons event on January 7th. Now, what do we know about the Fresh Horizons event so far? Well, we go back to a blog post. It says stock up on gold, and this was the last blog post they released before the last major blog post they released on the front. Stock up on gold to use with your training mats for the Fresh Horizons event with payday. So the only indication is that it looks like we have to spend gold, maybe training mats as well. What are your predictions for this Fresh Horizons event? What is this?
I mean, there's not really much information that we can gather, right? I mean, the only thing that we can do is assume that we're gonna have to spend gold, and then we're gonna also have to spend training modules.
Goofy, didn't Cerebro say that they don't want us to hoard resources anymore? Why, if this is in fact a gold spending event, why is this being done? Because they said that is detrimental to the health of the game and the progression of players. So why are we having to hoard this stuff? Why I should have hoarded. I should have spent like you 1 million a day and hoarded for this event, if that is what this event is.
Yeah, see, guys, that's the reason why I only spend 1.2 to 1.5 million gold per day. But in all honesty, I mean, that's not necessarily always a fun way to play the game, right? You want to be able to get your characters and level them up. But right, you're creating an event again where you're encouraging people to hoard resources, and that's not always a good feeling. I don't think that's always a fun way to play the game as well. But they've done this before with other events too. I remember there was like a previous event where you benefited from hoarding war credits and stuff like that. So it's almost, they've said these things before, but then they go back on it again. Now this could be a favorable event depending on how much of XYZ amount of resource you need to spend in order for you to be able to get shards, but and how long the event is too, right? If it's like a, because this is like a milestone, it's very milestone-ish.
It's very confusing. Event. We have very little information on this.
It
seems that we got more information on the Spider-Punk event than this Scarlet Spider, which is happening before Spider-Punk. Is this very, very strange?
At least we're assuming that it's happening before. But yeah. So it looks like
I mean, it's written there, but that doesn't mean it's in stone. So
right,
it could mean something else. Now, you mentioned the fun factor with this team. I think for me that is the biggest thing, because symbiotes they can do Doom. They could do Doom. Yeah. Maybe not 2.3 reliably, but they could do Doom 2.2 and stuff. Yeah. So the big question for this team is the fun factor. Have you used this team on the test server? How fun is this team? And I'm talking about the Web Warriors. How fun are they to use?
Yeah, they are fun at first. And maybe I'm probably gonna go against probably the grain here, right? To a certain extent, it kind of gets a little boring, right? Because it can kind of auto most of the nodes, except for maybe like the boss node, where you probably want to be a little bit more selective to make sure that you get Doom ability blocked and an extent, right? So I mean, yeah, sure, like but for the most part, man, you can kind of just auto most of the nodes. So I don't know if that's necessarily fun if you're just autoing content, right? But the animations are fun. Watching the interactions, watching the buffs go up. I mean, dude, it's like offense up, defense up, death root. Like there's like a plethora of just like buffs that the team has, and they're doing damage too. So I mean, it's a fun team from that perspective. But I think after a while, you kind of get a little bored because it's kind of easy to get through the content. So maybe I haven't tested them at maybe like 2.3 and 2. So maybe I need to step it up a level to see that. But for the most part, I mean, they're kind of crushing everything else.
What do you think that maybe this is the raid sim option? Giving us teams that we could just auto and then letting us focus on some other games, like we're going to discuss the Tower Mode, the Pocket Dimensions, Grand Tournament, and that is where we spend our time to get the fun. And these teams are built just so that we can auto the raid, not have to worry about it, put it on auto, get the resources the rewards and the resources. Is that what you think the devs are doing, or is this just another overtuned team like Heroes for Hire and Eternals?
So I think that, in my opinion, and I could be wrong about this, that could be part of it. What I really think though is that most likely that there's another raid, right, difficulty that maybe this team was created for, because it seemed too overtuned for the current Doom raid right now. So I feel like maybe this team, and granted, like, let's talk about it for a second, right? On the test server, we have characters that are at 7 and 4. So I mean, that's probably like the equivalent. I think somebody made the comment that that's like the equivalent of having a 5 and 5 character, like 5 yellow and then 5 reds. But that's not necessarily realistic for most players, right? Getting 5 red stars on a character is like, you gotta have a significant amount of luck in order to be able to do that, or save your promotion credits to be able to rank them up. So they just seem a little bit overtuned for the current raid right now. But like I said, I haven't tested them in 2.3, so I don't know. But 2.1, 2.2, they seem to mostly be able to auto most of that content right now.
And are you able to use them on your normal account right now, or just at the test server? Okay.
No, I don't have enough resources, man.
I don't have the ISO 8 to even bring them into the raids and test them out. So thank you for making that ISO 8 requirement, Scopely. I love it from a testing perspective, but I guess we have the test server as well, so it's not the worst thing. All right. We have another member of this team coming soon, next week, in a Blitz. Ghost Spider. January 6th. First opportunities Rich Cruise Ghost Spider. What did you think of this account? This change? Because I think originally Ghost Spider was supposed to be released as far as a Blitz on the 24th, so Christmas Eve. Now pushed back to after New Year's. What were you thinking of this? I mean, what were your thoughts on this change when this was announced?
So initial thought, I'm going to say I was actually pretty happy that they changed this so that we didn't have to blitz as much on during Christmas. But then looking, this is hindsight. Now, this is not foresight. This is hindsight. Looking back at it, I'm like, well, it would have been better off because we already had to blitz for the Magic event anyways, right? So we should have just it would have been better if we just had the Ghost Spider blitz also at the same time, because we could have just killed two birds with one stone. Now you're kind of just spacing it out a little bit, and then also on top of that, you're starting the Scarlet Spider event as well. So it's like I don't know. Like we kind of complain about it as a community, and then it looks like they might have changed it. But it would have actually just been better if we had just had it during the last week anyways, because it would have killed two birds with one stone.
Possibly, because I gotta say, I blitz very differently when I'm trying to blitz for a high score, and when it's an event like the Magic event where I'm just trying to get as many wins as possible. So I'm not sure if it would have been better or worse. It might have been exactly the same. What do you put on your metaphorical tinfoil hat right now? Why do you think they made this change? To be nice to us so we wouldn't have to blitz as much during the holidays, or so that we'd have to blitz more to separate out one event where I have to blitz a lot with the actual blitz where I have to blitz a lot? What do you think? They're being nice or they're being mean?
I don't think they're necessarily being mean. I think what it is that it's just not necessarily proper planning. That's what I chalk it up to. Or maybe they thought in their head, well, it would be nice to blitz also for Ghost Spider while you're also working towards getting shards for Scarlet Spider. So I think that they wanted to kind of group those events together to keep it away from the Magic event, and where Magic is not really necessarily related to any of the Web Warrior characters. That's probably what I'm thinking that they did. That's in my honest opinion. That's probably what I think that they did.
Or like you said, they just moved it, not thinking of all of the repercussions of everything. Right. That's probably the more likely scenario. Not being mean or nice. They just moved it, and different things like that. All right, so we have another event. So we know Scarlet Spider is having his event coming up. This Fresh Horizons event. We have a Blitz coming up for Ghost Spider, the Dimension Traveler Blitz, and we also have an event for Spider-Punk. Now this was mentioned first. This was mentioned on December 8th. Yep. Assemble a top squad with a limited time rebel trait for the Spider-Punk event campaign, Rock and Roll. Now, if the Blitz for Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider, is happening on the 6th, when do you think we're getting this Spider-Punk in the game? First, as a character offer, which is usually about a week before the event, and when do you think we're actually going to have this Rock and Roll event come to the game?
Oh man, so there's still one other character that we yet to know what's going on with him, right? We have no idea whether this event is going to be from this patch. That's T'Challa. T'Challa.
Do you think that had to do with that nowhere tag that was briefly in the game?
Yeah, it would have to be, right? It sounds like it would probably line up that way.
But what are your thoughts on what are your thoughts on Spider-Punk? Sorry, I didn't mean to distract you there.
That's all right. That's all right. No, so I feel like, man, let me take a look at the calendar here.
Bust out a calendar there. We got the 6 for Spider-Punk or Spider-Gwen. All these spiders are getting their names confused in my head.
Yeah, same here with me, man. 1/6, 1/7. So 1/6 for Ghost, 1/7 for Scarlet. I mean, I would say the 21st would make sense to me
for the event.
And I think that we could probably see the offer the week after the week of the 10th. I would say we could probably see the week of the 10th.
I'm gonna say the offer on the 10th. I'm gonna go with the offer on the 10th.
Offer on Monday,
10th. And then the event starting. Jeez, I want to say the 21st as well of January, but I'm gonna go to the 14th just because I think they want to get T'Challa in during January, not during February. So that is my predictions. That is just based on timing, knowing that they've released T'Challa and knowing that they want to get something in. I'm not sure if in January or February for that next release. So that's my predictions. Let me know your predictions. I want to talk about this. Some awesome pins that was described by Cerebro yesterday. New pin day. I think these looks pretty cool. I want to get one of these. And so I asked, how can players get some? The response from Cerebro: I'll ruminate on that one, good sir. So what, Cerebro? Ruminate quicker. I want to get one of these. Right? I don't know. Are they going to release these for a paid option? You know, actually spending money on a Scopely product that is not something digital, that you actually get something physical that could last? Or is this a prize? How do you think they're going to give these out? Or are these just for the devs? Are these not for players?
Yeah, I feel like these are probably for the devs, or maybe they'll do like a quick, like if they were to release it for players, it'll be like a contest or something like that. But I feel like these are just more so for the devs. That Ghost Spider one though looks pretty fresh.
It does. It does look fresh. All right, moving on. We got a little Christmas gift. From the devs, and I want to know what you got. This is what I got here. I got Sharon Carter as my 100 shard gift, along with these other stuff. We got some snow globe orbs. We got some training mats, which I'm always short on, and some power cores. Did you get a treat or did you get a trick this holiday season?
I actually got something pretty good. So I got Dagger.
Congratulations, man!
Yeah, that enabled me to get her to fill out the fifth red on her. So pretty good, man. I'll tell you, I'm seeing it in raids right now. Yeah, I'm seeing it in raids. The crit is crazy. So,
all right,
pretty excited about that.
You still playing your baby account? You still playing your baby account?
No,
that's gone.
We had to give that up, man.
You could have gotten 200 shards for free this holiday season.
I could have.
All right, are you ready for this next one? This was a long one. This holiday season, I interviewed the new game director, a creative director of Marvel Strike Force, Sean Dugan. He replaced Jason Bender. This was kind of a interesting interview. This is not what I expected. I actually put in a request to interview Byron, the creator of Heroes for Hire. So a lot of my questions were about Heroes for Hire, why they suck so bad. And then the day before the interview, Lori tells me I'm interviewing Sean. I'm like, who is Sean? Oh, he's the creative director. He started about a month ago. I'm like, I'm interviewing the main guy, and all the questions that I had prepared about the state of the game, I kind of had to throw out. So a lot of the questions were on the fly. What was your big takeaways from this?
So, by the way, really likable guy. I want to say that really likable guy. And
sorry, let me interrupt. A lot of things that the pain points from the community, I do appreciate. He brought them up before I even did. Exactly. I didn't even have to bring up a lot of the issues. He brought them up like, oh yeah, that sucks. You're right, it sucks, and he knows it sucks. So,
and that was going to be one of my takeaways, is that like he actually didn't really shy away from answering a lot of the questions that you were, and like I said, kind of led into it right before you even asked the question. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna, because I remember you were saying, I'm like, yeah, I was gonna ask you about that a little bit later on. So one of my takeaways for sure was talking about the game balancing, and I think that there was some real honesty there in regards to kind of acknowledging that some of the characters, he didn't say it directly, but you could tell that he understood that Kestrel and Silver Surfer were a little overtuned. We also did address Heroes for Hire, which you know already.
Yeah, that wasn't. So I'm glad that he said that them being this strong wasn't their original intent.
Right.
I don't know what they're going to do about it. I guess maybe make more Weapon X type teams, but I'm glad that it wasn't. They weren't supposed to be that strong. I don't know if it improves anything, but at least mentally for me that did.
At least there is some sort of acknowledgement and admission, I guess, or admitting to the fact that they were a little overtuned. And I thought his comment on Eternals were also pretty good too, because
they were
pretty much basically said, they're like too strong. We're not going to try to bring out. He said,
you know what though, they are too strong. I'm enjoying them. They have made Arena a lot more fun for me. It's not the case for everybody, but
yes, true.
Yeah, I think
there's a lot of metas now.
Positive.
There's a lot of. And they also are beatable. It's not as if though you can't beat them. You also have
you
to
can beat them, but you need Eternals. Well, you need Eternals to beat Eternals.
To beat them. So those are some of my big takeaways. I would have liked to hear him talk more a little bit though about the catch-up mechanics. He kind of like just breezed through that really quickly and didn't really talk too much about that. I mean, you know me, although yes, I am an endgame player now, right? But at the same time, I do still think that there's a lot that can be done for for catch-up mechanics, especially for some of the early little bottlenecks that I don't think should be there anymore. So I that was one of the things I wish that he would have talked about a little bit more. But I think that he himself is probably so far removed away from that as well, right? As a player, because he said that he's a player too.
Yeah, 1,000 plus days or so, and he spent money on it before he even was hired on.
He was hired, right?
But here's what I like. You mentioned the catch-up mechanics. I mentioned the past, kind of like Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. You know, there's $100, give them 2 years worth of progress. You mentioned that's good, but we want something for free-to-play players to catch up as well. And I know you're a light spender and you're free to play on your other accounts. So I know you would appreciate that. And that was something that he brought up, you know, getting stuff for free to play players as well. So I think that gives hope that it's not just paid players, but free to play players that make this game what it is.
Right, exactly, and I did appreciate him saying that as well, because I mean, Swogo has the hyperdrive bundle, right? It's like $100 or something like that.
Something like that,
yeah. So I mean, getting something like that in Marvel Strike Force you're right. It would space out the free to play players quite a bit. So I did like that he at least did acknowledge that too. Like, hey, the free to play aspect. Well, I mean, we kind of widen the gap too much there if we did that.
Yeah, I thought overall it was a good interview, and I did make this comparison that he's part of the creative side, and the creative side usually is the good guys. Obviously, there's missteps, like with Heroes for Hire, which was a big misstep. But you know, their job is trying to make the game fun. But there's also another department, the money that makes the game profitable, and those are not as friendly with us, with the community. This is they're the offers that mainly upset the community, like the Thanos giving, the way it's done, and potentially this offer. Now I got to give a shout out to Yeti for posting this in the Envoy chat, the public section of Envoy chat. But these are some of the offers that we got. These 12 days of Christmas. So the first one, not so bad. Some gold. This was okay, but not tempting enough for me. This was okay as well. Price going up. Day 3. This is when you said you stopped, right?
Once I saw what day 3 looked like, I was like, I'm out.
What do you think about these prices doubling? I mean, I saw this, I'm like, $12? This will be good. I'm gonna get all of them. $12 for some pretty cool resources, but no. Even on day 6 right now, the running total is almost $50 for this stuff. You said you were upset about this. I'm not super upset about this. Why are you upset about this?
Yes, I was just maybe upset was the wrong term. I think annoyed by it. It was one of those things, and maybe it's because of what we just experienced with Thanksgiving, right? It's one of those
trash.
It's like once again, man, this is supposed to be a Christmas thing, and this is what we get. We're not getting that many great things for this Christmas spending, right? So
spending wise, yes, but they're giving us a lot of stuff.
They give us a lot of stuff.
Login calendars, things like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so those things are fine, but in terms of the offers themselves, I mean, they are kind of garbage. So if $10 for 10 basic Red Star orbs, $10. Oh, actually, the campaign energy one is not terrible. But yeah, I mean, and offer 4. What is that? I mean, we do need a lot of G14s now.
What is that? I don't need any of that stuff.
But
it's all supply and demand. Supply and demand.
Ow.
The bigger the demand, or the lower the supply, the higher demand goes up, the more people are willing to pay. I don't need this stuff. I'm not paying $20 for that.
No.
Crap. That's right here. Look at that.
The only the only 2 offers that were decent to me is that first one, that 99-cent offer, and then probably that $10 offer right there, 6 out of 12. Those are probably the only 2 ones that I think are good. The rest of them really aren't compelling enough.
Yeah, I didn't need, and I said, what I want some of the stuff, but I don't need any of this stuff. So none of these were tempting for me, which it did not upset me. I don't care. If I don't need the stuff, I'm not gonna buy it. I'm more concerned with this kind of stuff. All the gifts really that they're giving us. Yeah. These kind of the calendars, the offers, these events. I'm not as concerned with this, and that's just me though. So they can make all these bad offers, and if they want me to spend money, then they should stop making these bad offers. And if they don't want to spend money, keep with this crap. Cool. Let other players might buy this, or you Scopely might realize that these offers are bad, and the majority of the community doesn't want them, and maybe they'll make good offers. So I don't care either way. If they give an offer that's good, I'll be happy. If not, then whatever.
Move
Whatever.
on, yeah.
Yeah, I'm moving on if it's not good. All right, but let's move on in this video because we're missing. We don't have a raid season milestone character right now. We had one. We had this guy in there for a while. He was supposed to be there for 15 seasons. I think he lasted for 16 or 17 though because some bugs. Now we don't have a raid season milestone character. The community is asking, where is the next raid season milestone character? Do you think that this was a one-time thing for Silver Surfer? Because previous to Silver Surfer, no raid season milestone character. And we're currently in the season, no raid season milestone character. Do you think that's a trend continuing? Or do you think we're going to get another character replacing him?
The funny thing about this is the fact that players are asking when are we going to get another raid season character is funny to me, because we didn't really necessarily like the idea of a raid season milestone character in the first place.
No one did, but getting free shards for a very limited character is a good thing. And there's a lot of limited characters right now in the game. And any one of those being a raid season milestone character, I personally would be happy with. I don't want that as a release method, but shards for a character that I'm not having at 7 stars, give it to me. I love it.
No, I understand. I'm just more talking about just like I've heard a lot of like, yo, why are we not getting one? And I'm like, we didn't necessarily want it in the first place. But yeah, I don't think this is actually a one-time thing. I do think that they're going to do this again, but I think that they'll probably be reserving it for a character of the caliber of Silver Surfer. So I do think that this is probably something that could happen again. I thought honestly that it might have been one of the Eternals that they may probably do this for. I thought it was going to be Icarus just because of the way that his event went, and I felt like Cersei's event was very favorable for a lot of players because it's an event campaign character. So I also thought it could have been Deathpool too, but obviously she's not in the premium orbs, which is probably worse. but
it is. Remember how long Cull was there? My goodness, if she lasts as long as Cull, that'd be horrible.
It would be horrible, but I do think that this is something that they're going to do again. I do think that they're probably going to do it for a specific character that they probably released similar to how Silver Surfer was released, or like I said, the caliber of Silver Surfer. Or maybe they saw the initial backlash and what it caused, and maybe they're thinking that we might not do this.
Refresh my memory. Was that backlash because the raid season milestones was his release method, or did he have offers a release method and then he was put and the raid season milestone? It's been a few months. I don't remember the thing. Do you remember off the top of your head, or?
Yeah, and so the backlash was because he was put into the raid season milestones, and he was previously before a strike pass release, which is the most difficult. He didn't have a release method. It didn't actually have a release method, and then you put him in a section in the area where not every player in the game were able to get shards. Really, kind of only if you were in a decent alliance that's doing higher end raids, you could get shards. So I think that was the initial backlash.
That initially broke up the alliances, and then Heroes for Hire finished the breaking up of alliances. Now I remember.
And players were upset because they weren't going to be able to get a 7-star Silver Surfer. So complain. Whatever.
So if they put a character in there, it wouldn't feel as bad because that's not their release method. They weren't released as a strike pass. If they just threw a character in there, I'd be happy with it. If it was a brand new character, like maybe Scarlet T'Challa, that's his method of release. That would strike pass and Scarlet T'Challa. That would upset the community. But if they just threw a character that really had a release method, I think that would be favorable. All right, we have Nakatomi Tower coming to the game. I mean, Avengers Tower coming to the game in this new mode today. And like I said at the beginning, we know some things. We know this in the blog post, but there's so many questions. So let me just talk about what we know so far, and then we'll start asking these questions. So this is like a tower mode. You need to get to level 50 to get to all the milestones. So what I've equated this to in the past is 750,000 Blitz points. And then you could get to as high a floor as you need to after level 51 or floor 51. If you lose a battle, you're going back to 51. If you lose a battle before 50, you're staying on that exact floor. And these are kind of like your ranking rewards. You know, the floor that you end up on is kind of like your ranking rewards. Your rewards are based on that. Now, this is the interesting part here. Each character can be used once a day. Will go into cooldown until midnight UTC. So Blitz, we have 2-hour cooldowns for these characters. I'd equate this to more of a 24-hour cooldown, sometimes less, but it's going to reset at the server reset or the daily reset.
Reset, yeah.
Characters on cooldown cannot be refreshed, so there's no even way to buy these characters, at least indicated in this. Battles cannot be launched if you have a cooldown character slotted into a squad, so it seems like you're going to need at least 5 characters per team. You're not going to be able to use like incomplete teams like the raids, or maybe it's not clear here. Note that if you hard close the app while in battle, you won't lose progress if you're past floor 51, but the team will go into cooldown. This can be problematic with some crashes, losing a team like that, but I understand why they do that. As long as they keep their game functional and not crashing, this shouldn't be too much of a problem. This is the most interesting part here. The gear or the rewards will include teal gear, orange gear, purple gear, blue gear, bill of materials, gold, and more. All right, so there's some questions here.
A lot.
What are your expectations of this event? Do you think this rewards will be generous as far as teal gear? Is this a solution we need for more players to get into Doom 5, or is this like a trickle? What do you think as far as that?
Yeah, what I feel is probably going to be the case is I do think that some of the milestones, I don't know if the milestones are going to reward any sort of teal gear. I feel like the teal gear is going to be rewarded probably most likely in the ranked rewards. If they do milestone teal gear, then it's probably going to be maybe like your origin gear or some probably catalyst, like a small amount of catalyst is probably what you're going to be able to get. I'm a little. So what I know about other tower modes, right, is that usually, so there's a game called Looney Tunes, and I think, which is also I think a Scopely game too, right? And their tower mode is so you have I have it somewhere in my Discord, but I think you get to a floor and there's like 3 or so battles that are on that floor. Okay. So it looks like, but this looks like it's different because Looney Tunes only has 8 floors, right? So then you have multiple battles on that one floor. It looks like there's probably just going to be 1 battle per floor if there's going to be that many floors here in Avengers Tower. That's what I would assume. So I don't know like how exactly the breakdown of the rewards are going to be, but I just feel like it's going to be hard. I don't think we're going to get any teal gear probably until you get to floor 51.
You might not even get it in any floors. You might get the stuff in your ranking rewards based on where you finish.
Your rank rewards, yeah.
So it might be there. Now, the other question I have, it says testing the upcoming new event. I was under assumption this was a new mode that would be occurring. Do you think this is an event, or is this the real-time arena of 2022?
Yeah, it's a good point. That's a good thing. You said event. Like, what the hell?
It says event right here instead of mode. So maybe it's synonymous in the Scopely headquarters. For me, event is something limited time, though, and a mode is something that's permanent. I may be reading too much into this. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, that's exactly. Those are my thoughts. Because if it's an event, that means that there is a set time where it's going to start, and there's a set time where it's going to end. Which I guess would make sense because they did say there were going to be rank rewards. So I think it's an Avengers Tower mode, but then it's also there's different events.
I mean, do they consider Blitz an event? Is Blitz a 3-day event and then a 1-day event on Sundays? That's where I'm kind of confused.
Yeah, so Blitz is a game mode, right? And then you have the events that Blitz character that runs 3 days. So I'm assuming it's probably something similar. This just looks like
Cerebro, this is so confusing. Cerebro, I am so confused by this.
This is why I said like initially I'm like, this just seems like another Blitz mode to me. That's really kind of what this comes down to. Now, and I don't know, like in some of these floors, is it going to be possible for you to use one character to get through it? And then are you going to get screwed if you use one character, if you don't have a full team at set XYZ floors, right? I know, because you're going to be able to preview. That's something that you're going to be able to preview teams, right? I'm going to take a look at what those look like once you get to that floor, or are you going to be able to preview all?
Yeah, we don't know if we're going to see the enemies or we're going to go blind like in real-time arena. There's so much that we don't. I guess we're gonna find out in just a few short hours. But my predictions: it is a reoccurring event. I'm gonna say every week. I'm gonna say it lasts every week. How long do you think this is gonna last?
Yeah, I would say probably every week. I could definitely see them probably breaking it down to a couple days a week, right? So where maybe it's like a 3-day thing, like how they have Blitz, where it's you blitz 3 days for one character, you blitz 3 days for another character. I could see them probably splitting it up that way. But then that could be problematic because technically you only have 37 teams that you could use in the game, right? So I don't know. I don't want to get too ahead of myself here.
No, these are predictions. We will know everything in a few hours. So get your final predictions in right now, Goofy. Anything else you want to say before we actually know the information?
No. So the only thing that I will say is that I just hope it's fun. That's it. I just want it to be fun. I just want it to be something that's fun.
I agree.
I want it to be. I don't mind. Yes, will cost me to spend more resources. Sure. But if it's for a fun reason, like I'm actually enjoying the game mode, I don't care, right? Like I'll spend the resources to do it. It just needs to be fun, and that's just the only thing I ask. I just want it to be fun.
All right, I'm crossing my fingers, guys. We will know if it's fun in just a little bit, and maybe not. Maybe we'll need many rounds of changes, and it'll go away just like RTA. But I hope it is not like RTA at all. All right, and yeah, I hope we could see the enemies. I hope we get some good rewards, not just on the ranking rewards, but also per floor.
Per floor,
some little things. All right, pocket dimensions. This sounds like a new mode designed just for Yelena Belova. Is she gonna be the ultimate character in this mode?
I get it. Pocket.
Yes. All right. January 14th, next year sometime, we're getting these pocket dimensions, like a mini dark dimension. And it's going to be in a Dark Dimension section. So I guess all the Dark Dimension bonuses from our Pimtech characters, from Symbiote Spider-Man, any other characters, they may be applied as well. This is for Commander's level 65. And you need this new Resolute trait for this round. This looks like it's something that is going to be reoccurring as well.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this? And it looks like they're going to be switching the traits. I'm thinking timing for this maybe every month. What are your thoughts on what we know so far about Pocket Dimension? Because like the Nakatomi Tower mode, we know very little about this except for what we know in the blog post.
Yeah, so this actually looks like it might be kind of cool if it's implemented correctly. I do think this will probably force you to once again go wide with your roster, right? Like probably for me, for a player who looked at the Resolute tag and I was like, I've never built She-Hulk. She's currently at level 1 on my roster. So like looking at characters like that, and I'm like, all right, maybe this might force me to level up She-Hulk to level 65, right? Like we might do a thing where that is concerned. So this might, but once again, it has to be, the rewards have to be worth it for me to do it.
Sounds like it is. You got fully crafted teal gear.
Crafted, right? Fully crafted teal gear and orange gear.
Hurry up, Pocket Dimension! I want that stuff now.
It's definitely a big deal, but also I don't know. There's a possibility that you only will need, like I said, you'll need 5 characters, right? So I probably won't have to go that deep with the roster. I probably just go with 5 characters that can work and that makes sense, and then can get through it. But it seems like it's going to be something that's kind of cool, something else that adds a little bit more time to the game. But once again, if it's a fun game mode, I'm 100% okay with doing it.
I think this is really cool. Now, it sounds like, they say there's a series of missions, requires trait specific characters.
Yeah.
Do you think this is going to take a long time to finish, like the normal Dark Dimensions, and this is like a mini version, and most players are going to take months to finish this, and this kind of eases up some of the pain of the length to chase Dark Dimension 5 and getting Dormammu? Or this is something a lot easier, and we're going to be able to complete this on a weekly basis or a bi-weekly basis. It sounds like they're just going to surprise us. It could pocket dimensions could pop up at any time before, during, or after a milestone event. So how do you think this is going to be implemented when it comes to the game in a couple weeks?
Yeah, so curious to say this, right? I mean, we have, well, what do we know? Is that we have the Fresh Horizons event that's going to be starting on the 7th. So it seems as if though that might actually be a milestone event. Based on that, because it's probably
spend your gold.
It seems as if it's
save your
in the
gold
middle.
now, but spend your gold then.
Yeah, spend your gold then, because it looks like it's popping up in the middle of an event, which is probably a milestone event. So that's probably what Fresh Horizons is. So yeah, I mean this Looks fine. I feel like it's gonna be fairly easy. It's gonna be a little bit easier though, because it does say commanders level 65 plus can enter. So I do think it's gonna be a little bit easier to get it done. I don't know if there's gonna be difficulty settings in there though, right? Because we remember we had like we had an event for where you had to use Captain America, Winter Soldier. So I don't know if they're gonna go the route where with like that event there was like a easy, medium, hard.
That was different. This is the first time they're having something pop up in this section, though, the Dark Dimension section. So
true, it's very different, but I just feel like it can't be. I mean, we're level 85, right? I mean, if you're saying it's available for level 65 plus, I mean, that just seems like something that's really easy to get done. Are we just going to be able to auto it? I mean, that can't be the truth, right? There's going to have to be some sort of difficulty, higher level of difficulty as you kind of probably continue to go through it. That's at least what I'm thinking. Maybe I could be wrong. But
looking at these characters, is this just a trap to get us to build up some of these characters? Look at Miles is pretty good.
Yeah.
Scarlet Spider's pretty good. Cersei, one of the better characters in the game. Yeah. Omega Red there. But other than that, all the crit from Shuri.
Yeah,
did you see? I got lucky with a 6-star in Shuri last night. I know you're jealous.
Sure.
I can put all that crit on her.
A little bit. Now she probably crits for like 30K.
I cannot wait to try and see how much she crits. I'm gonna put that Raider class on her and just have her crit all the time. All right, but any characters besides the ones I mentioned you see worth building here? Maybe Magic Storm if you're really on war offense, but
I mean Misty Knight if you're doing gamma raids, right? And you're going in the middle, sure.
Yeah, and she does have a tech tag, and it's not the worst tech character to build.
I know some players are considering her for Dark Dimension just because she's a tech character, and there's not a lot of them that you need to bring into Dark Dimension.
She's a tech character with low cooldowns on her stun, low cooldowns on an ability block. It's just not the worst. I see Misty. All right, I see a Misty. All right. So there's the pocket dimensions. Let's move on to the next big game mode that is coming, and I think this is the one that excites me the most.
Yeah.
And okay, I used to say I have heard nothing but good things. There's been some bad reception to Grand Arena in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, but for the most part, majority of the feedback to that game mode has been pretty positive. So I'm thinking this is gonna be a very similar game mode as far as that. Do you think this is gonna be like a war and based on efficiency? Do you think there's going to be matchmaking problems as well? I mean, are you more hype or more concerned with this game mode coming?
So there's a lot of excitement, but there's a lot of ambiguity, right? So trying to figure out exactly what you need to do is challenging. What I will say though, I think that there are going to be some of the older meta teams that probably will come back to fruition. I'm not talking about like BH 2.0. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking more like your Black Orders, right? A lot of people are concerned about Infinity Watch now with Eternals. I think that now with the Grand Tournament, that those teams will sort of come back to being worth building up, right? Because a lot of players have been asking me, hey, should I build up Infinity Watch? Now that the Eternals are there. I mean, I'm like, Adam Warlock is still definitely worth building up, and I still think that I'm still seeing a lot of Infinity Watch in Arena right now, but I do think that for that reason, I think that Infinity Watch, one of the better teams, I think Black Order can bang, right? In a lot of these game modes. So I do think that like some of those top tier or previous metas are probably going to come back to fold here in a game like this, because I do think that there is. It's like almost like a war strategy kind of based thing is what my understanding of it is.
That's the impression I'm getting of this mode as well.
You're gonna want to have like you're gonna have your defensive teams, and then you're gonna have your certain number of teams that you can use on offense, and so that's what I'm understanding that Grand Tournament is going to be like, and I think that that's kind of similar to kind of what Grand Arena is like in Swogo. I've never played Swogo, so I don't know the specifics, but that's what I've been told so far. It's
like Star Wars version of Marvel Strike Force, pretty much. Different game modes and things like that, but originally it was like I do have a question about the teams though. we have teams like the Dirty Heroes for Hire and the Marauders. They got war defense bonuses, right?
Yep.
Well, this is not war. So what do you think they're going to do with these bonuses? Are they going to have a whole new set of bonuses for characters, maybe bringing older teams like Hand and giving them some value here? Or they're just going to extend war defense, also extended the grand tournament defense? What do you think the devs at Scopely are going to do with this to solve that issue? And maybe we won't even have Heroes for Hire. That is a huge problem in this game mode if they don't do that.
Yeah, so I do think, and what we've seen so far with a lot of these war teams recently is that a lot of them typically still have some viability, or if it's even individual characters that have viability outside of just war, right? So we see Shang-Chi clapping cheeks in raids, like we've seen, we've seen these other Heroes for Hire characters doing well in game of raids. So
yes.
I still think that those themes will be relevant, and it's also just leans towards why I think that they're doing a lot of reworks right now. I think the reason why they've reworked the Ravagers, they've reworked Miles, they've reworked Wolverine, Sabretooth, Gamora, Nebula, Night Nurse, like all these characters. I feel like the reason why these characters have been getting rework is to sort of kind of prepare you for sort of what Grand Tournament is. And I remember they talked about this in the preview, or even like these other new game modes too, where you kind of need a little bit of a wider roster. I think what they're trying to do is rework these characters, give you a reason for you to want to build them up, so that you can actually use them in these new game modes. That's what I think that they're currently doing right now. It might work. It might work if, like I said, these game modes are fun. They feel rewarding to build up your characters for. You're having fun doing these things. I feel like that if that's the reason why I originally thought they were doing it just to balance the game out because of the massive power leap. But
this is not the next game mode coming. So we got 2 more before this one. This one looks like it may not be for a while. We maybe get another 2022 preview before this game mode is even out. So
and in the 2021 preview too, remember Cerebro did say in the message that they want us, as they continue to implement these new updates and changes, that they want us to think about this as a journey. So it kind of seems like with some of the changes that they've made, the influx of gold, quote unquote 8.1, with also the level cap increase in gear tier 16, but with some of that stuff that they're doing, right, it seems like they're kind of trying to take us on this journey, as they said, to help to bring us towards this place where we're going to be ready for a lot of these new game modes that they're introducing now in the game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to 2022 a lot more than I was looking forward to 2021. There was really no plan in place until like halfway through 2021 before they implemented a plan. And this is the plan that we're in. So I'm glad that we have a plan, and I'm a lot more hopeful. All right, 2 things that also are coming up. We got a new Strike Pass, a new Mojo's Mayhem. The new Strike Pass is going to release on January 4th. That is going to feature Silver Samurai. And on Mojo's Mayhem, that's going to release tomorrow. The new Mojo's Mayhem is going to feature teal gear, no characters, but the Winter Soldier costume. Which one of these is more appealing to you? The Strike Pass usually has better rewards, but with a character that's probably not as important, or Mojo's Mayhem with the more important teal gear, but no character shards and just a costume that has no gameplay value. What would be more important for you? Say, hey, Scopely, it's gonna give you a token that you get either one of these for free. So it's not even about money. Which one would you like better?
I'll probably go with the costume. I do like the Zemo costume. I think is pretty fresh. I'm a little disappointed with Silver Samurai going into the Strike Pass. He was an event campaign character, significantly easier to get. Would have been better, in my opinion, to go with a character like Lady Deathstrike. Who her event was a little sus, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of players are able to get a decent amount of shards for Silver Samurai, right? I don't think there was a lot of concern there, so that's a little bit disappointing. But I'm also still disappointed.
Here's the other way to look at that, though. He's not an important character. If you don't want him, you don't have to buy this. You don't have to feel obligated to buy this. So again,
this is probably gonna be a skip for me.
Different ways to look at it. All right, but the Mojo's Mayhem, and you're more interested in it for the Winter Soldier costume instead of the teal gear.
Oh yeah, the Winter Region costume for Zemo. Yeah, definitely, for sure. Because and here's the thing. I usually always buy the battle pass anyways. I would prefer for there to be newer character shards there, but because I do like the costume, and I'm usually by the battle pass. The strike pass, I go back and forth. Sometimes I skip it, sometimes I don't.
I thought I was a bigger spender than you, Goofy, but you got these automatic purchases. I haven't bought one of these for a long time.
Yeah, so I didn't buy the one with Phoenix, and I think I didn't buy. There's another one too that recently I didn't buy as well. I just like hard pass on that one. I skipped, and then the strike pass for Sharon. I mean, yeah, whatever. I mean, it's like, so I usually flip flop between which one I buy depending on what's actually in there. But I like the costume for Zemo, so I'll probably grab this one and the extra teal gear. Although I feel like there should have been some mini uniques in there. I did my map out on my planning sheet. Boy, it's gonna be a long ride. To get
all right. Let me know if either of these appeal to you guys in the comments. Now, that is it for the Strike Force stuff, but I do want to talk about some MCU stuff. I want to talk about Hawkeye this series. I want to talk about No Way Home.
Yeah,
I saw that. Now, for the Hawkeye series, we're going to talk about the whole thing. Spoiler warning for Hawkeye, but we're going to do a spoiler-free reaction for No Way Home. So if you have seen all of Hawkeye and have not seen Spider-Man, you're safe. If you haven't seen Hawkeye, though, this is your warning right now. We're going to talk all about the Hawkeye series, the entirety of the series since that ended last week. But if you haven't seen Spider-Man, don't worry. We're not going to do any spoilers here. So Hawkeye.
Ooh, yeah.
Woo, my goodness. Episode 6. What was how did you like how this ended, man? Did it end how you thought it was gonna go? Did you think he was actually gonna get to his family? Did you think Yelena might get him?
Yeah, so I actually thought that she was probably gonna. I didn't think Yelena was gonna kill him. No, absolutely not. But I did kind of think it was a little corny towards the end. You're talking
the whole series or that 6th episode?
Just that moment, the episode of her,
the fight on the ice rink. The
fight on the ice and her just like being so.
I didn't like that fight. I didn't like that fight.
Like I wanted to go to the death, and then for it to be, I didn't kill your sister, or yes, you did. I wanted to go down to the nails, man. It didn't. It was kind of anticlimactic for me.
Oh, you knew that she would either kill him or she wouldn't. And if she wouldn't kill him, it had to be revealed what happened. And I don't know. I think if I was Yelena and I thought someone killed my sister, I wouldn't hear what they had to say. I would just go. Yeah. If I was in that revenge mode and if I was like some train killer, that was my profession. I wouldn't matter what he said. So you knew that kind of part would be happening, right?
I knew it would happen. I wanted to be, the reveal was kind of trash. I wanted it to be a little bit more impactful. I wanted it to be like a fight to the death where both of them were like almost going to kill each other. And then you could have revealed the information then, but it wasn't that. So I was a little.
All right. Yelena Belova, probably the new Black Widow if they're going to make a new Avengers, and Kate Bishop, probably the new Hawkeye if they're going to make a new Avengers. What do you think of their interaction in episode 5, the mac and cheese, hot sauce, and then their fight in episode 6? What do you think of how because I think they may be having more scenes in the MCU coming up based on just who their characters are.
Yeah, probably my favorite scene in the entire movie, series. Really, they're kind of like a movie, right? All 6 episodes, but. Yeah, I think their interaction, Kate Bishop and Yelena, probably one of the most entertaining ones for me because Yelena's funny as heck, man. She's just really funny.
One of my favorite characters in the MCU.
In the MCU, she's really cool, man. And just watching her just go back and forth with Kate Bishop, and Kate Bishop just has like this. It has a good personality too that I think really fits really well. And then of course, me and my wife are watching it. We're just like, oh, so Young Avengers. Oh, yeah. So Young Avengers. Okay.
So no subtlety from the Disney Plus on that show.
Yeah, no subtlety at all, right?
This is coming up. Hey, why don't we throw Miss Marvel in there as well?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Where's Miss Marvel? Come on now.
Where's Squirrel Girl in this fight? Squirrel needs to be in the fight as well.
Come on. She wasn't eating some nuts somewhere? Come on, guys. Where's Tippy?
All right. One of my least favorite parts was that fight with Kingpin and Kate Bishop. I didn't see how she could win that fight. Yeah. She was an Avenger, or not even an Avenger, but she's a superhero with no powers for like a week. You got this indestructible dude, and she wins. Even if she has those arrows, that was probably my least favorite part of the episode. Same. Probably my least favorite part of the series, if I'm being honest. The way that fight went down. Not that she won, but the way that she won. I thought
the way she won.
He should have. He kind of has superpowers. I don't know if he's just a strong guy, but who can survive being exploded? Not me, and I don't have.
Yeah, not many. It was a disappointing fight. The fact that they even fought was just kind of
she should have just long range hit him with arrows and not even anything. All right,
like we're doing hand to hand combat now. What?
She's not a hand to hand combat. All right, where does this rank for you in terms of WandaVision, Loki, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and if you want to include What If, you can include a What If. Where does Hawkeye rank for you?
Hawkeye, I would say it's probably my third favorite.
After what?
So I think Loki was dynamic. It was really good. I liked What If because of the ending. The last couple episodes, the beginning ones weren't really that great, but the last few episodes just MCU, really, right? Yeah, it really brought me in. I just thought the last two episodes were phenomenal. So What If was probably my second favorite, and then I would probably throw Hawkeye as my third favorite. Falcon and Winter Soldier fell off for me, man. I feel like they lost a lot of opportunity to make certain stories bigger. And the speech just wasn't as impactful for me at the end. I mean, I obviously, of course, of a man of color, I was like, I understood it, but also it just wasn't as impactful as I wanted it to be. I mean, WandaVision, cool. I don't dislike any of the series, but it's just WandaVision. I would say, I think my least favorite was probably Falcon and Winter Soldier, just because of the ending.
Okay. For me, I'm super biased. This has Yelena. This is the top show. That's super simple. All right.
That's fair.
Moving on. And it's not recency bias, because I think WandaVision my second favorite. So anyway, moving on. This is gonna be spoiler free. I saw Spider-Man No Way Home this week. I know you saw it. Quick thoughts on it. I don't want to spend too much time on this because this is a spoiler free thoughts, but what I love this. I love what it could do with the MCU. I love the writing. I love how it ended up as well. You know, I wasn't sure where it was gonna go. I was a little upset towards the middle of it, and then at the end I was like, awesome. So,
yes.
I hope that didn't spoil it too much for you guys.
Right. I'm a little nitpicky about certain aspects of it, but I still gave it like a 9.2 out of 10. Like it was really good. There were a lot of moments in there where you were like, all right guys, let's just move on, please. Let's move on from this. There was a few moments, like very few moments.
Was it all solved by the end for you, or were you still have some?
It was solved by the end.
Okay.
The end just really grips you, man. It just really,
Any emotion from me? Did you get emotional?
I got a little emotional at one point, but I'm trying not to say where I got.
I'm not gonna say where, but there was multiple times where I got emotional as well. Yeah. All right. Okay. So spoiler free. Where does this rank for you as far as the MCU? Top 5, top 10, somewhere in the middle. Doesn't sound like it's somewhere in the bottom. So where's this ranking for you?
This is probably top 5 for me. I think for me, nothing tops Infinity War ever. I don't think anything can ever top Infinity War for me.
That's a long build up. That's gonna be hard to top just because it's like what 20 films. I don't know, many years, a lot of films worth of build up for that. So it's hard just because of the build up.
Infinity War was just amazing for me because they lost, and it was just how they lost and just how bad. Thanos was a bad man. I just loved it. My second favorite is Winter Soldier. Captain America Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Boy, that was a strong movie. I would probably put this number 4 on the list. for me right now, but it was really good. It was really good.
Yeah, for me, at the end of it, I was thinking this is the best one ever. But now I think about Endgame, some of these other ones I like. I just think I'd still stay in definitely the top 10, probably in the top 5, maybe even the top 3 for me. But right after I saw this, like, oh, this is the best one ever because it was because that's all I'll say. I don't want to say why.
We'll talk about it offline.
We'll get a real conversation video after a while just to make sure that people have seen it. That is it for Marvel Strike Force, MCU, and everything else. Goofy, last news video of 2021. What do you have to say for everybody? Or to everybody.
To everybody. Well, it's been a great ride, guys. Looking to continue to do this again in 2022. I'm excited about a lot of things coming to Marvel Strike Force in 2022. But as I always say, I'm cautiously optimistic.
You have to be. You have to be. No matter how much good news they throw at us, we have to remember their history. So I am very optimistic for 2022 as well. Way more than I was for 2021. They have a plan. They have a plan, and I'm curious to see what they're going to do with it. Now, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. We do these weekly news videos every week. Rotate the guests. Goofy, hopefully you're on more in 2022 than you were in 2021. But yes, we do this every week, guys. So make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. And if you are not watching this on YouTube, if you are listening to this on your favorite podcast, it's all over everywhere. Leave it a great review on whatever platform you're listening to. Goofy, anything else to say before we go?
Nah, man, you guys are amazing. Don't you ever forget that, all right?
It has been an awesome 2021, and I hope it's even better in 2022. You ready for the final weekly news fist bump of the year? There it is. ValleyFlyin and GoofyRhexxi out. Have a great rest of your year. Have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you guys next time. Woo! Woo!